G'day everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another reaction. This one's going to be to 6 horrible dating tips. Neither of us have watched this, so this is going to be a raw reaction. And some other things came to mind when I just said that. But
I was like, where are you going with this?
no, we're just fantasy land.
Wrong platform, wrong platform.
Right, I got to remember that. So isn't OnlyFans. It isn't OnlyFans. So no. We're doing a raw reaction to 6 horrible dating tips today. So yes, let's dive into it. But I feel like there's a lot of raw, sorry, not raw. Do it again. I feel like there's a lot of horrible dating tips out there.
There really are. There really are. There's so many rules and this and that. And got everyone just all up in their own grill of are they doing it right? And all the it's horrible. It is turned something that's supposed to be fun into something so stress inducing that a lot of people just they freeze. They don't know what to do, so they just freeze.
Exactly. I'm so glad I don't have to, but so thank you. But if I did have to date, this would be me. The entire date, just frozen.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I don't know how people are doing it. I honestly don't.
Nope. All right, let's see what this fuckery is all about. So here we go. Let's check it out, and let me know if anytime if you want to stop.
Okay.
Get it, man. It can be super tough sifting through all the crap on the internet, trying to figure out the good dating advice from the outright awful dating advice that can be really damaging and misleading, because nowadays any kid with a camera and his mom can call themselves a dating coach. Wait a second, I have a camera. But seriously, some of the tips that I've seen out there are gonna make you a whole lot worse with women than you are right now. So I'm gonna give you the top 6 worst dating tips out there, which you've probably heard of and maybe even are using some of them. And I'll tell you alternative methods that work way, way better so that you can stop unintentionally pushing women away and instead start attracting them to you. My name's Matt Artisan from The Attractive Man, coming at you from Cancun, Mexico. And these are 6 common dating tips that will destroy your chances with women, and you need to stop doing them. Number 6 is using props. I recently saw an ad on Instagram of a magician, and he looks like a really good magician, but his whole pitch was, you gotta learn magic so you can impress women, because then they will like you so much. Something like that. And that's just such a bad way of thinking. And I used to think this way. I actually used to bring magic tricks out to the bar. I was really bad at them. It did not work, but I tried it. I tried pretty much every pickup or dating advice.
Okay, so I would suggest like magic. I mean, you are going to have to bring your wand at some point, fellas. You're going to have to bring your wand. Right. And it should be magic. But props? Do people actually like... Do people actually believe this shit? Like
that's a really good question. Like, do a lot of men actually think that they need to, like he said, a prop? I thought, okay, like a dog, because I know a lot of single men who go out and get a dog or a child or a cat or something they can walk. Can't really walk a cat, but something you can walk, and so to have other people stop and have conversations with you. So, but never magic. Like magic is cool and all, and I love a good trick, but
I just see this going so wrong. It's like, here's my wand, now watch it disappear. Where did it go?
Whoopsies. Whoopsie doodle.
I can see some women not being impressed by that, but I also want to say, like, I'm not disparaging magic here.
No,
like,
I love a good
magic
trick.
is absolutely, but to use props and use this stuff, if you have to use a prop and you think that a prop is the thing that's the best thing you've got going for you, it's probably not going to work out, I feel.
Unless you're doing magic for Susans, then
magic for Susan. That has to work.
It works for Susan every time.
Fuck you, I was just going to say at least on a Susan. All right, let's continue.
Tactic known to man, but when you're trying to do something like magic tricks or whatever to impress women, it messes up your mindset. For example, I used to play in a rock band, and that was my whole way of meeting women. The only reason I felt that they liked me is because I played in a rock band. They would see me on stage. They would see me on TV. We were on TV for a short amount of time on MTV2, just for about a month. It's nothing to even really brag about. And we were touring with some big bands. I'm super proud of that. And so women would see that and they'd be like, whoa, okay, that's hot. And I would get a lot of girls because of that. But then when my band broke up, I felt like I lost my cool factor. I felt like, why would a woman like me now? And I felt really depressed for a while because I felt like I'm never going to get women again. Like, why would they like me? I'm nobody without my cool factor, without being the rocker guy. So I had this thing that I was using to impress women. It wasn't magic tricks, but it was basically my guitar and, you know, that whole lifestyle. And when that went away, I felt like I had nothing left. So instead of using gimmicks and tricks or using something that's outside of you, you need to start building confidence on the inside. And that's what I started doing. I started working on this part of my life. I started developing deep inner confidence and started really loving who I am, all my flaws included. And that's when I started getting some great results. And it's really the mindset that doing something or using something like props to impress the woman, it's that you're just not good enough and that you need to do something to impress her. You need to be who you think she wants you to be, instead of just being impressive, impressing yourself and being internally validated, loving yourself, loving every aspect of yourself. You don't have to be perfect. You can be short. You can be a little ugly. Don't be too ugly. Work on that if you're really ugly.
I feel like he's actually saying some good stuff right now. Like,
Yeah,
he's making sense. You do have to love yourself. Like, if you think you need a massive wand to impress,
right,
or a guitar or whatever it is, and that's the only thing you've got,
right.
Makes sense to me. Like, as in to really be happy with yourself first.
Right. Because, you know, a lot of men and women, we just think that we need to have a certain thing, like, oh, I need to go get the car so I can get the girl, or I need to get the job so I can get the paycheck so I can get the girl. But those things are fleeting. They will go away. Like, they will
Yeah.
go away. And when they go away, does the girl go away or does the guy go away with it? So, and the fact that you have, I want to call him a man. You have a man saying there saying, okay, like, you got to work on you, love yourself.
Yeah.
Because when women say it, people are like, ah, yeah, that fluffy foo-foo stuff. But it's true for everybody.
Right.
We need to dig down and truly love ourselves, because when we love ourselves, we're just so much more attractive to everybody else.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, if you don't like you, and you don't want to be around you, and you want to be something else, or you're insecure about yourself, then that'll come across as well.
Yes.
And who else would want you if you don't want yourself, essentially?
And that's just it. I know plenty of people who don't like themselves, and people don't like spending time with them either. It's
absolutely. And you also, if you don't love yourself and you're not happy with who you are, then you're more open to being with somebody who doesn't even suit you, right? So you're going to be more accepting of someone else that you don't even really like that much.
Yeah.
Just because you're going to be like, oh, well, they like me, so that's,
sometimes that's
I'll
all the
take it.
prerequisite that's required, is that, oh, they like me.
Mhm.
Perfect. Sold. It's like, well, do I like them? Do we actually get along?
Yeah.
Like,
And unfortunately, like he said in the beginning, like he's talking about, this is my rocker look or whatever.
yeah.
He could be a cock. Like, he doesn't seem like it, but he could be a cock.
Yeah.
So all this stuff that's just based on looks makes really no difference
No.
at the
No.
end. I mean, you've got to be attracted to someone.
I've met
but
plenty of attractive people, and they've
Right.
turned out to be dicks.
Yes. Exactly.
So, men
All
and
right.
women.
Oh, both. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. All right, let's continue.
Most things that contribute to being unattractive are things that you can actually work on. I'll make another video about that. But when you work on yourself, that's part one, you gotta work on yourself, become the best version of yourself. And then part two, there's certain things you can't work on, like height, or, me, I have a big nose. I'm losing hair. I guess I can get another hair transplant. I've got one already. You know, there's certain things you can do, but there's certain things you can't do. And you got to love those parts of you because they're not going to change. And as you really love yourself and build confidence, you don't feel like you need to do all these things to impress women. When I first started, I felt like I had to memorize all these lines and scripts and routines to impress women, and to a small degree, they definitely worked. I definitely did get some results. It was more the confidence that those lines and scripts gave me. But I realized I could drop all of that. I can just walk up to a girl now and just say, hey, what's up? And she could look at me weird, and I could say, that's all I got. I can't think of anything else to say. And that could work. Literally saying that I don't know what to say can work because I believe in myself and I believe that she should like me. And if she doesn't, then it's no big deal. I'm just like, okay, something's wrong with her, or she has a boyfriend, good for her. And it's no big deal. I don't let it affect me anymore. So stop trying to impress women. Stop using props, or even, it's fine to, you know, play in a rock band or do something that has a side effect of attracting women, but it shouldn't be your whole purpose. For me, being in a rock band, the main purpose, I loved creating music, but really deep down, the main purpose was I wanted to be able to attract beautiful women. That was the main purpose. And that's really why the rock band didn't work out.
There we go.
Okay, sorry. I got all excited behind my muted thing. So the intention wasn't there. He said that's why the band fell apart, because the only driving force was to get pretty ladies. Well, the original affirmation behind it was bullshit. Like
Yep.
it wasn't because they love doing what they do. You know, getting together and writing the music and, you know, creating this magical thing together. No. It's like so they can get laid. It's like, well, that's of course. So I'm so glad he said that's why it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Because the
Makes total
intention
sense.
behind it was fleeting.
Yeah. Well, they I just had this image of the conversation that these guys had. They like get together and they're like, hey, do you want to shag some girls? I'm like, yeah. They're like, all right, well, how do we do that? I know, band. Let's do it.
I heard musicians. Well, they obviously did pretty good, right? Like he says, you know, being on MTV for like a month isn't anything to write home about. It absolutely is something to write home about, because there's plenty of bands out there who are rocking their asses off and they don't
not
get
make
on MTV.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
so bravo, sir.
Spot on. And I also liked what he said about, you know, going up to a girl and just saying, what's up? I don't know what to say. Could work. And it's not just that he's confident in himself and all of that stuff. It's also just because he's being honest.
Right.
And honest and vulnerable.
Yeah.
Can be pretty attractive.
It would be very attractive.
To both sexes, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Because what do you say? You're like, well, if you're like, oh, I got nothing else.
Yeah.
I got plenty to back that up with. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Got plenty to say now.
Right. So it's a mix of confidence and vulnerability at the same time.
Yeah.
Very interesting. All right.
Okay.
Let's carry on.
Jessa, who's our maid, so she's mad at me. She's on the phone with her brother speaking Tagalog.
Bisaya.
Anyways, Bisaya. There's so many languages in the Philippines.
Hello.
Number 5 is only working on your marketing. I recently heard a really popular pickup coach telling guys that they should only work on the marketing, which is basically the words that you say, how you say them, and how you look, how you appear, basically, the external, right? And disregard the product themselves, working on themselves, because they're going to get more results from just working on the external and basically memorizing a bunch of lines and routines. And I thought this was horrible advice. I liked thinking about it in terms of business because I have a business and it's doing very well. So I think in terms of funnels and product marketing, sales, etc. I like that, but the fact that you only work on what you say and how you say it and how you dress and still feeling insecure and unconfident, but you believe in those lines, so you can at least appear confident when you say those lines. But if she says anything that throws you off and then you don't have a script for it, then you're pretty much done. But some women won't throw anything at you, so you could definitely take a woman home from a bar by only working on your marketing or your game, lines and routines, etc. but eventually she's going to figure it out. If she goes on a second, third, fourth date with you, eventually she's going to realize, okay, he's not as cool as he seems. In fact, I knew a guy, a dating coach, who had 8 hours of material memorized. And then as soon as he ran out of material, he would lose the girl. After 2 or 3 dates, he would lose the girl because they realized, okay, it's all a sham. He's not really as cool as he seems. He just knows all these cool things to say, all these cool stories he's memorized. But after that's all gone, there's nothing left. There's no substance. There's no solid product. The product falls apart. And then she wants a refund.
This so funny.
Okay, so I had no idea that men do this, that they have like lines and scripts and stories and everything going around just, just to be able to have a conversation. What happened to volleying back and forth with a conversation? Because we can talk for days on end about so many different things. Like I never once stop and think like, well, I have nothing to say.
Right, me either. Oh,
Like,
and it's just because we have it's just conversation.
yeah.
Like, and I think the thing too is well, there's obviously far too much emphasis put on the physical side of things,
Yes.
but the conversation side of things as well. It's okay if people aren't compatible and you walk away. That's okay.
Yeah.
Trying to force conversations or saying things that are disingenuous to yourself, like then you get all put out of whack. Like saying these lines, and I touch wood, I've never had to date, so thank you, but not really, not in a this sort of sense,
Right.
But I trying to memorize all these lines, it would actually probably, I think, when I think about it, make me more anxious because you have to remember the lines, and then I'd be anxious that, well, shit, what if it goes off script? like
Yeah. What do I say? What do I do?
What do I say? Yeah, but and I go back to, and I think one of the reasons why we have such great conversations is because we're able to be open, honest, and we're just genuine with each other. And so we just talk and we rattle things back and forth, and we don't judge each other for some of the things that we say, or ideas we have. So yeah, just conversation. That's all it is.
Now, I do have a question. So if these men need to have a script when talking to a woman, do they also need a script to talk to their friends?
Good point.
Because
Good point.
like there's definitely people on this planet I'm like, I have nothing to say to you because everything that comes out of my mouth, you're going to be telling me to put my tinfoil hat on. And, like there's just some people you're just not compatible with and you have nothing to say to them.
Yeah.
But if you're talking to your friends, shouldn't you be able to have like a smooth rolling conversation with your friends too? Like just treat her like you would your friends. Like in that kind of conversation flow like thing. Ask her questions. Ask her questions about herself. She'll love it.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like in just people, whether it's dating, men, women, whatever, even just like guys talking to their guy friends, people just talking to people in general, they struggle with conversations because they don't ask enough questions. They don't ask real questions. Now, I'm not saying that everyone needs to do this with everyone because you don't have to be interested in everybody. And if you're not genuinely interested, you probably shouldn't be having the conversation. So, but if you are, just ask genuine questions. It's pretty simple. It doesn't have to be anything major. You just be like, hey, do you like stuff? No, I'd probably go a bit more than that, but just ask genuine questions. How do you, how do you feel about X, Y, Z? Did you, do you see your parents much? You do this, like whatever, because it sparks a conversation. It may bring up a touchy subject for the person you're asking. Like it may bring up something sensitive, but that's still a conversation point. And if you have empathy in that moment, then you can still ask more questions, talk more about it, even move on from it if you need to, but it's a starting point.
Yep.
So
do you think that's what a lot of people are worried about triggering people? Because people do get very angry when they're triggered. Well, not everybody, but people tend to get mad when they're triggered because they don't know how to handle their triggers. they automatically blame the other person for bringing it up. It's
Right.
like, well, fuck me, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that was going to be a trigger for you.
Great point.
Like, I didn't know asking your favorite brand of yogurt was going to be a trigger, but here we are, and now I'm getting yelled at. So do you think a lot of people are just very concerned of like not triggering people so they won't get in trouble? But meanwhile, it's the triggered person's responsibility to handle their triggers?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. So both people sit there not triggering anyone, but also not talking. And
Right.
Not having a real
why they're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Not getting to know anyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't be that guy. Work on your marketing, what you say, how you say it, your body language, your style, your fashion, your pictures on Instagram, all that kind of stuff. It's great, but you need to be developing yourself, aka the product as well, because that's what's really going to matter most. I mean, think about it. Have you ever bought something because it had really great marketing, and then you get it, you're really excited, and then you realize, wow, this is shitty. This just doesn't work, or it falls apart, or it's just not as good as you thought. I just bought a drone recently, and I was testing it out here in the tennis courts, and I was really excited about it. I wanted to make some awesome videos and get some awesome shots for you guys, but it sucked. It was made in China. It was $150. It was a big one. It looked like pretty legit, but it was cheap. And me being cheap, I learned my lesson. You get what you pay for. And so I ended up just giving it to one of the staff here at the hotel, because the marketing was great. It looked great. It looked legit, but in the long run, it didn't work. Next on the list is IOIs. Guys typically look for two types of IOIs. One is before they approach. They're looking for some hint that they should approach. Like she looks at him, like bats her eyes or licks her lips or something like that. And then the other one is during the interaction, looking for indicators that she's into him, that he should keep moving forward. The reason both of these are a bad idea, number one, because if you're looking for indicators to approach, you're not going to see very many of them unless you just happen to be a really good looking guy. I almost never see indicators that I should go approach a woman. At least probably 90% of the women I approach, I don't see them look at me first. I just see them. I'm like, well, she's pretty. I want to go talk to her. So I go talk to her. I would miss 90% of amazing interactions that I've had if I was looking for IOIs. So don't do that, because sometimes women just don't notice you and you're just going to miss so many opportunities. Number two, waiting for indicators of interest as you're talking to her, as you're in the interaction, is such a bad idea because we're guys. We can't read body language that good. I'm sorry. Women are just way better. They're way more intuitive than we are when it comes to things like that. So by the time you've noticed one or two or three indicators of interest, she's probably giving you 10, and she's wondering why the heck are you not making more moves on her? And she's probably going to get disappointed and find somebody else who doesn't care about IOIs and who has the balls to make a move on her. The only real IOI that you need to be looking for is she talking to you or not? If she wasn't interested in you at all, she would keep walking. She would not stay there and talk to you. If she's talking to you, then there's at least some interest, and just keep testing it. Try different things. Try touching her, see if that works. Try moving her to a different location, see if that works. And of course, if nothing works, then there's nothing you can do. Move on to somebody else who...
I'm so sorry. Did he just suggest that you kidnap her?
I'm like, never go to a secondary location. Never go to a secondary
touch her a little
location.
bit, take her somewhere else, somewhere quiet, like a dark room or something.
If she doesn't like you touching her, just move the location. That came out not the way he meant it to. I don't know.
I know he means well, but that just did not come out. Oh, she's not into it. You could try touching her. She's not into that. You could try just wrapping her up and moving her somewhere else. The trunk's a great place of the car. And then
basement works real well.
Basements, yeah. Okay. Let's continue. I just had to.
Okay, yeah, me too. And also, the person on the phone that keeps following her, I don't know if it's girlfriend, I don't know who the hell that is. That's really doing my head in.
Is more interested. Next on our list of what not to do is ABCs at bars and clubs. that means is don't have a complex A, B, C, D, E, F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 system for meeting women at bars and clubs because there's so many variables involved. During the daytime, it's a simple 2 to 3 minute interaction most of the time because people are busy. So you can have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And you want those three to be as effective and powerful as possible because you only have a short amount of time. That's why I recommend my patented, it's not really patented, but my CQC method because it works so damn well. But for nighttime, if you have an ABC system, it's just not going to work. There's too many variables. Her friends can come in. There's loud music. Every club is a little bit different. You're just going to be in your head the whole time. It's just not going to work. There's so many different openers that can work. It's just not a good idea. I don't recommend it. For example, the mystery method, which is one of the most classic night game systems, it has so many different steps. And somewhere in the middle of the process there, you had to count 3 IOIs, which we just talked about, and then you move on to the next step. And that's so bad. I remember being so in my head thinking like, okay, what's the next step? Should I do this or should I do that? Did she give me an indicator of interest or was she just scratching her neck? So crazy. And when I dropped all that and I just said, okay, I'm just going to focus on 2 things. The most important things when you meet women at bars and clubs. Number 1, fun. They're all there to have a good time. So you better be having fun with yourself or with your group. And of course, when you approach a girl, with her. Number 1, you got to be having fun. But if you're only having fun, you might turn into the dancing monkey. You need to move things forward. So then I started focusing on escalation. Those are the 2 main things to focus on when you're at a bar or club, and just keep going back to those. Have fun, move things further, have fun, move things further. Throw in some normal conversation, where you're from, what do you do here and there. You don't need that to be something you think about because we all do that. We do that too much. Most people are way too boring when they meet people at bars and clubs. You just need to be having fun. And then move things forward, make moves on her. Like I said earlier, touch her, see how she reacts. Go grab a drink, go dance with her, move things forward. Number 2 is talking 90% of the time. Oh my God, this is such bad advice and it's so common. I hear so many coaches saying in the beginning of the interaction, you need to be talking 90% of the time because you approached her, so all the pressure is on you. Number 1, that's hard. Number 2, that's not as fun. I don't like all that pressure on me. And number 3, it comes off as like trying to impress her. You're just talking, and she's just listening like, okay, impress me. Why should I like you? And it's just too much work. Forget all that. It should be closer to 50-50 unless she's really shy. Then yes, you're going to be talking more of the time, maybe 70-30. But really, you should have the mindset when you go up to any woman, especially in a daytime situation like this at the beach. You can see all the people down there. But you should have the mindset that this person is beautiful, so I'm going to go tell her. I'm going to go, make her day. And I want to see what she's all about. I want to see if she fits into my world or not. Because you don't know. Just because she has a pretty face, that doesn't mean you want her. Just means she has a pretty face. So what? She could not be compatible with you. The whole idea is to see what she's all about. And to do that, she needs to be talking. Qualify her. Ask her challenging questions. Ask her just questions about herself to see who she is and see if there's a compatibility or not. So it should be more 50-50. At a bar club, that might be too serious of a conversation right away, like going up to her, hey, you're cute, now tell me all about yourself, blah, blah, blah. That just is too serious. Like I said before, have fun. The idea there should be like, oh, there's a cute girl or a group of cute girls. Let's go see what they're all about. Let's go have fun with them. Let's see if they're fun. And even that is qualification, because if they're not fun, if they seem boring, you're at a bar. Your number 1 purpose there is to have a good time. If they're not fun, they immediately disqualify themselves. But if she's fun and she's flirting back with you, you guys are having a good time together for 5-10 minutes, then you start asking her questions too to find out who she is and have a more deeper conversation where you really connect with her. But the point is, even at a bar or club, you're not talking 90% of the time. You're bantering. You're saying things to them to see how they react. And that's a much better mindset to have, because instead of again, it all goes back to you trying to impress her. 90% of the time means you got to do all this work and hook her. That's a really popular pickup term, is you got to hook the set, meaning you got to do all this stuff, and then there's a point where they're laughing and you can tell that they're into you, and then it's time to move to the next phase of the sequence. Oh my God, forget about all that. You don't need to hook them, they need to hook you.
Yes, I'd like to move to the pretty lady in the back, please.
Thank you. Thank you. I just had a thought. Do you think a lot of people don't want to ask the questions about the other person because he said, you need to make sure that you actually like this person. Like,
Yeah.
are you actually compatible? Do you think they're actually worried that they're not going to be compatible, or they just don't care?
Okay. I think it's both but in different circumstances. I think it's both.
Okay.
So in the first instance, I think they're concerned about what the other person might say, and they're not the person in reality that they are in your fantasy, in your head, right? Because so many people look at somebody and go, damn, she hot, or ooh, check out his abs. But they don't, then they see that part of the person and go, okay, now I see us with cars and houses and kids, and they have this whole big fantasy in their head. And then when they meet the person, it's ruined when they talk. So they don't want to actually find out those answers. And then there's the other side of it, which I feel is, especially from a guy's point of view, a lot of guys probably just wouldn't even want to know in a club situation. They'd just be wanting to get a bit of touchy, get some nookie. So they wouldn't really care about the answer that's coming or anything like that. So, yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, you know what? If the woman is there for kind of the same thing, she doesn't care either.
Right.
Like, it goes both ways. She doesn't really give a shit either.
The extent of the conversation could be, yeah.
You good? You want to go?
Yeah.
Secondary location? Let's go.
Touch me first. Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot there. This is giving me a goddamn headache. Like, this is
what was that one with the branches with the
I
15
don't know.
fucking things, and there's a step and a stage and a fucking this in the middle.
What?
What?
And then we wonder why people have so many arguments and so many everything. And once they get the person, they don't know how to hang on to it because there's so much preparation and just trying to get the girl, never mind keeping her.
Yep.
Like,
well,
it's wrapped in science that I'm sure works, but only to a certain extent.
Yeah, for sure. And exactly what you said. So they do all this stuff, like there's all the follow the plan and you do this and you do that, right? And it restricts them in what they can do and say and everything.
Right.
When they step outside of it, they're lost. They don't know what to do when something happens outside the script. But also it's narrowing them down to that's all they are. That's all they are when they're talking to these people.
Yeah.
To these women. I mean, holy shit. Like I said before, I would not be able to do any of this, like any of these horrible tips. Like, just the thought of it makes me freeze again. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And I don't know, I would be a little disappointed if I found out that my new partner was using Jedi mind tricks to lure me in.
Touch it, you will.
Yeah. Like, I'm just thinking, like, I don't know. Maybe we just lucked out. I don't know. Like,
well, I don't. Yeah. Well, we did. I did anyway.
We did. Like, I do know, but shouldn't it be?
But I don't know. I feel like
I've been single for so long. Like, I just don't remember how it happened before.
Yeah, but I feel like it doesn't feel like it was a thing with us though. It was just natural. So it doesn't. It just naturally happened. So it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just doesn't feel like anything. There was no, like on my part, luckily, because I would have failed, but there was no like, all right, I got to do my dating workouts. I've got to, get my list ready and my checklist and my script and my, so yeah. And I don't, like you said earlier, like guys and body language. I mean, you know me. You tell me stuff.
We've met.
You tell me stuff, and I'm like, oh, is that what was happening?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like this was literally happening right in front of your face.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. Fascinating.
Yeah, fascinating. And I even had my eyes open. So yeah. But I do feel like we're certainly lucky.
And I also, because we definitely know this happens, is that men and women too, I feel, it's just, I think men are more prone to it, that they can't read the room. And if a woman is nice, it means she's interested. No, it just means she's nice.
More assumptions again.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of assumptions there. And I know I have fallen into that mess of, I was nice to someone and they took it as something else. And then when I turned them down, they said, well, I thought you were nice. What's the matter with you? Like, well, so what do you do? Like, you're kind of fucked if you do and you fucked if you don't. So it's unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, it sucks. And people's expectations can just ruin things as well. Like that person, you were nice, and then it just, the other person ruined it all.
Oh,
ruined any of that. So
yeah.
But again, like the expectations are so important. As in, don't have any. Like,
oh yeah, I have none from you. No expectation.
And that's why we're so successful.
I know, because I would be disappointed on a minute by minute basis.
I expect nothing from this motherfucker. Like, he's doing nothing. But yeah, when you have high expectations, and also when you try to change people, when you meet somebody and you want to mold them into, or squeeze them into a mold that you've made in your own mind, that shit ain't gonna work.
No. Okay. Anger is gonna happen.
Yes, and resentment, and that leads to the dark side.
Yeah.
Jedi mind tricks won't work. All right, shall we continue?
Yeah.
Number 1, drum roll please, is no compliments. I hate this one, because you can't compliment women because that gives away all your power. That's so wrong. That's so stupid. In fact, it's the exact opposite, because women love to feel desired by a strong, confident, charming man, especially in an everyday situation.
I'm just going to stop here because I feel like we've got to number 1 now, right? That's all 6. And we can talk about this. So, what kind of shit advice is that? Not complimenting anybody? What?
Oh, I think I've had a few exes that took that advice.
Right. Yes. Right. But what human being on this pyramid-shaped rock doesn't like to hear something nice about themselves?
Exactly.
Who doesn't want to hear that? Now, I'm not talking about, your crass guy who's like, nice tits. I'm not talking about that guy.
Right.
Because that's not a compliment, right?
No.
I'm talking about geez, you look lovely today. Like, I like your hair, or your eyes are beautiful, or that outfit looks great. Or who doesn't like that shit?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Come on. And despite what a lot of people would, have you believe, it doesn't happen that often. Like, some people would say, I just get harassed all the time. All the time. I just walk down the street and every single human is just telling me how good I look and that they want me.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, they're not. They're not. No one's doing that. Like,
no.
Even if the hottest number 10, like 10 out of 10 girl or guy is walking down the street, people are literally not doing that.
Especially if she's 10 out of 10. because the hotter, like the more beautiful they are, the
It's
less
terrifying.
it's terrifying for a lot of people. It's terrifying for us to, to be confronted with that much beauty. It's, you get all tongue tied and
But
spellbound.
how do you do it? You've got a mirror. Like
Oh,
that must be a
stop
real
it.
struggle.
Stop it. See, this is how it's done. Bravo. But they don't get compliments at all because because either it's a fear thing, or they're like, well, I don't want to be like everyone else, because everyone else is like, people just assume that they get told day in and day out, and they just don't. They don't.
Right.
It just
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
Nope.
So make her
It doesn't.
day.
Yeah. But and exactly, who doesn't like giving a compliment? Now, a lot of people don't give compliments because they're afraid again of the reaction, right? Like people are afraid of either a negative reaction or no reaction or whatever. But I think again, like it goes back to the first point that he made in his video, which is if you're confident in yourself and you're happy, with yourself and all of that stuff, it doesn't matter if somebody doesn't respond a certain way to your compliment or to anything you say, because it's just like he said, yeah, okay, cool. I'm just going to walk this way then. Like it's no.
But here's the thing, but
big
if you're
deal.
giving out a compliment, it should be a sincere compliment. Sincere, like you actually mean it. So it doesn't matter what the response is, because you meant what you said.
Yeah.
So if you tell me, hey, great eyeballs today, and I say, thanks, I just got them. Or I say, go fuck yourself. Either way, it shouldn't matter because you still meant what you said.
Yeah, exactly. And
So,
if you say,
so if you said it just to get something in return, well, that's.
Of course. Yeah. And see, to me as well, like, I don't feel like, going up to, I'm just going to use the female example here, because again, most interactions happen are instigated by men. Like men will go and talk to women, not the other way around, usually.
Yeah.
So if you're going to talk to a girl, I feel like it would be awkward to just walk up straight away and make a compliment as well. Like walk up straight away and be like, hey, I really like your dress.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still okay. That's nice. But why not just say hi first? Like,
Yeah.
hey, how you doing today? What's going on? What are you up to? What's happening?
Yeah.
Can I touch you? No.
Secondary location? No touchy. Can I take?
Where is the secondary location?
My basement.
Well, before that, does this smell like chloroform? I wouldn't start with that.
Gets them every time.
Gets.
Sorry.
I pick up all the time like this. Onto the shelf. Oh, please, we're not condoning any of that kind of behavior.
No,
but,
don't do that. Don't do those
But
things.
yeah, start with just a hi.
Mm.
How you going?
Yeah.
How's things? How's your day?
Yeah.
And then you could say, then it would be totally okay. And I swear, if you say something nice, say something like in a respectful way, like you said, but if you say a compliment to a lady, something nice, I would almost guarantee, even if she doesn't want to, take you home and ride you around the house,
Yeah.
she's going to smile.
Yes.
And she's going to feel good.
Yeah.
And even and you know what? Go around and compliment people you don't want to fuck as well, because
Yes.
everybody feels good when they get a compliment.
Yes. But make sure you mean it. Like you don't want to.
Oh, of course.
I will never give out a compliment if I do not mean it. It is just so disingenuous.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like because I'm like, well, what do I want from this person? Like, what was the actual purpose of that? Like, I don't need them to like me. I don't need validation from anybody. So what was the point? So just make sure that you mean it.
Absolutely. Love it. Well, geez, it's been 45 minutes or so, and I feel like it was a good video to react to. I actually quite like this guy, I mean, people should go check him out if they can. If they haven't, we can probably put his stuff in the description and in the pinned comment and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I hope everyone's enjoyed this. Let us know what you think about the 6 horrible tips. If you've given them a go, or if you're a bloke, have you tried this stuff? Or if you're a chick, have you had this stuff tried on you? And what's some horrible stories you've
Yeah.
of either picking up or trying to be picked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
curious.
curious because I don't know what's going on out there, but it doesn't look fun. It does not look fun.
I'm much more happy being here,
Yes.
here. Well,
Yes.
Maybe
Well.
a little closer, but you know what I mean?
A few oceans closer, but yes, I know what you mean.
Yes. All right. Well, have a great day, everybody. And we will see you all next time.